What's up, weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Universe of Weirdos, and welcome, citizens of Planet W, to another episode of Planet W. We got a crossover episode going on.
Hey.
I am Jay Kraft.
And I am Dan.
And we are here to do another crossover episode of Universe of Weirdos and Planet W, a WNBA podcast. Done this once before for March Madness when I did the Bracketeer episode. The Bracketeer, I was judging the college women's bracket based on what city sucked the most. And I got somebody from Rhode Island didn't really like me too much when I recorded that episode, but whatever. Today, we are talking about Candace Parker, and we're talking about Candace Parker in a way that only Universe of Weirdos and Planet W can. Not talking about her basketball greatness. We can talk about her basketball greatness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of basketball greatness that goes on with Candace Parker.
Absolutely.
Candace Parker, if you don't know, because there are a lot of Universe of Weirdos listeners out there that do not follow sports, please stick with this episode, because I promise you it's not all that sports heavy. We're mainly talking about the controversies of Candace Parker. If you don't know Candace Parker, she is a WNBA legend. She has played for 3 different teams and has won a championship with every single one of them.
That's right.
She was Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. She is being inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame this year. So, I mean, we could go through it. 3-time WNBA champion, WNBA Finals MVP, 2-time WNBA MVP, 7-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Her numbers are retired, 2-time NCAA champion. We could go on, but we won't, because we could fill this entire half an hour with just talking about Candace Parker's accomplishments.
Yeah.
She is very decorated. She's got accolades out the ass. But we want to talk about some of her more controversial things. But, you know, like I did say, she's won a national college championship, right?
Yeah.
Twice, actually, with Tennessee, with their legendary coach, Pat Summitt. So rest in peace to Pat Summitt.
Yeah.
Candace Parker is a Tennessee Vols legend because of that. I remember one time, I would say it was, 2007 is when they won the championship. I remember the Tennessee Vols going up against the Rutgers women's team. What's the Rutgers? What is their...
Oh, Rutgers.
What's their mascot?
Man.
I'm tied up on that one. I don't remember all that well. But here's a little bit, just because, you know, we like to blast through time on Universe of Weirdos. So let's get in our time machine, go back to 2007. We got this Tennessee versus Rutgers. They're about to tip off.
And we are set to go for a national title.
There we go, man. Hey,
Tennessee controls the
tip. Hey, Tennessee won the opening tip. They got that shit, you know. So there they go. Tennessee started it off right. And then by the end of the game, everything was, let's see, you got, with 47 seconds left, Tennessee 58, Rutgers 44. And it looks like Pat Summitt is about to win her 7th national title. That's exciting,
The thing
right?
about it is, she is a young woman.
It's impressive.
Who will coach easily for
The college championship right there being won by the women's Tennessee Lady Vols. And then we got to hear a lot of commentary about it the next day. We got to hear all the different news coverage of, hey, Tennessee won the women's championship. Obviously, that's something we're going to cover in the media.
Yeah.
And one thing that I loved, and still do to a certain extent, is radio. I've always been a radio guy. I've always loved radio personalities. I've always loved morning radio and how they would discuss the events going on in the world. And during this time, there was a man named Don Imus. On April 4th of 2007, he had Sid Rosenberg, a sports talk guy, on his show, and they decided, let's discuss the women's national championship, featuring Candace Parker as the lead person there, the finals MVP. I guess she was the tournament MVP that year. So this is this guy, Don Imus, talking about radio legend Don Imus. Let me at least give a little bit of respect here. He has some controversy, but this is him talking to Sid Rosenberg about that game the very next day.
So I watched the basketball game last night between a little bit of Rutgers and Tennessee, the women's final.
Yeah, Tennessee won last night. 7th championship for Pat Summitt. Man, they beat Rutgers by 13 points.
That's some rough girls from Rutgers, man. They got tattoos and
some hardcore hoes.
That's some nappy-headed hoes there. I'm gonna tell you that. Man, that's some. Ooh.
Oh boy.
And
ouch, Don.
The girls from Tennessee, they all look cute, so like kind of like a, I don't know,
Spike Lee thing.
Yeah.
The Jigabos versus the Wannabes.
Yeah,
that movie that he had.
Yeah, it was a tough.
Do the right thing.
I don't know if I'd have wanted to beat Rutgers or not, but they did, right? So.
Okay. So yeah, there you go. The Tennessee girls, they all look cute. There's some hardcore hoes, let me tell you. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So Don Imus. Here's the weird thing to me. After this happened, there was huge backlash. Everybody, Don Imus is a racist piece of shit. Fire Don Imus. All of the stuff that, he probably should have gotten fired for that. Or at least suspended. Something like that. That was a really stupid thing for him to say. Here's the thing, though. If you listen back to it enough times, the only thing that Don Imus says is hardcore hose. No, he says nappy-headed hose. After Sid Rosenberg says hardcore hose, and Sid Rosenberg is the one who says jigaboos versus wannabes. Sid Rosenberg was also fired, by the way. Sid Rosenberg is a gigantic piece of shit. We'll talk about Don Imus in just a second, but let's go through a little bit of Sid Rosenberg here, because these are a few things that he has been noted as saying on Don Imus's television show, because he was the guy who came on before Imus. He did a sports show, and then Imus would like cross over with him for a few minutes and talk about sports, and then it would go just right into Imus's show. He has once said that Venus Williams was an animal, and that her and Serena Williams would be better suited for National Geographic than for Playboy.
Oh, ouch.
So he has once said that. He has also once said that only gay F slurs play tennis. And he said the word, not gay F slur. And was also once saying that the U.S. women's national soccer team were, quote, a bunch of juiced up dykes. So that is Sid Rosenberg's resume as far as saying really horrendous things go.
Yeah, quality guy.
And but somehow, like, Sid Rosenberg got fired for this too, but Don Imus was the one who took all of the heat.
Yeah.
And the only thing, and yeah, I mean, it was stupid of him to nappy-headed hose, but he's the one who got all of the heat. He's the one who got Al Sharpton talking about how he should be fucked.
Yeah.
And even when he was fired, it was almost like it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, we need more from, like, what more could you take from the guy other than his job? Like, do you want all of his money now too? But yeah, I mean, that's a ridiculous one. It's some hardcore hoes there. They're the Scarlet Knights, the Rutgers women's team there, the Scarlet Knights. These are the hardcore hoes that were on the Rutgers team. Essence Carson was on there. This is how she looks. Now, I mean, she does look like she could probably kick your ass.
Yeah.
That is, just to be fair. Essence Carson does look like she could be scrappy. Epiphany Prince, who we know,
legend,
a WNBA legend. She is great and she is scrappy. She got those tattoos, and so, she looks like somebody maybe not to fuck with. Kia Vaughn, again, she has tattoos, but I mean, these women don't actually look like they're like menacing and rough, they're just black women who have tattoos, and when they're playing, they have scowls on their face because I'm being competitive, and ain't shit to smile about right now.
Right.
Here's Heather Zurich from their team, who is a very pretty white girl with long, straight hair, who has gone on to be a coach of UC Santa Barbara. I've been there. But yeah, that is not what I would consider a hardcore hoe. Heather Zurich does not look like she is a hardcore or nappy-headed. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, those are just a few of the players from the Rutgers women's team who are considered hardcore, which, I mean, okay, yes, they had tattoos, and they were black women who weren't smiling and laughing through a competitive championship basketball game. So, I mean, maybe they did look a little hardcore.
Yeah.
But come on, man.
Yeah, very rough.
And then, of course, we had the Tennessee team went on to have Candace Parker, who did go on to be drafted into the WNBA. Shannon Bobbitt, who also went on to be inducted into the WNBA. They had Sydney Spencer as well. Alexis Hornbuckle was part of the team. And a couple of other players who I would say kind of look a little rough, like Nikki Anasike, which, I mean, according to Don Imus,
right,
she is a black woman who has a serious look on her face in this game. Why isn't she a hardcore hoe? Like, I just, it did seem very jarring, very racially. I mean, obviously it was racial. Some racial undertones. I don't think that Don Imus was trying to go down the racial route. I think he was steered that way because of Sid Rosenberg and his fucking very weird.
Ad-libbing your buddy was kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, having Sid Rosenberg, who's a notorious racist, on.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, they both have gotten their jobs back. I mean, Don Imus is dead now, so rest in peace to the racist. But Sid Rosenberg got a bunch of shit kind of recently for talking about Mayor Mamdani. I think he called him like a Muslim rat or something like that, and called him like a Jew hater. It was very strange. Like, this guy like strives for controversy. Like, he's one of those, as long as my name's as long as you're talking about me, it's a good thing type of guy. And no.
Not all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. And like, there are a lot of people that think that, like, as long as you're talking about me, it's a good thing.
Right.
Like, we're talking bad about you, so it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to be labeled a racist. All publicity is good publicity. Ask Kevin Spacey if that's true. Ask his current career if that is an accurate statement, because it certainly isn't. I don't think that all publicity is good publicity. Ask Don Imus and then he went on to, he did the apology, he did the whole, I'm sorry I said that. I regret saying that. And the weirdest part about that is Don Imus does actually do a lot of like black charities. Like, he does a lot of stuff for like inner city kids and stuff. So it is a little bit annoying to be like, dude, I benefit black youth with charities that I do, and now I'm being called a racist because of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was unfortunate. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have said nappy-headed hoes, but like, you are talking for 4 hours a day. You are talking to a dude who is saying racist shit to you. You're doing the whole yes and type of improv. Again, I'm not excusing it. I think he should have been fired for it. I think he should have been suspended for it. People talk about there was a free speech issue. I don't consider that a free speech issue, because yes, you have the freedom to say whatever you want, but you also have the responsibility of dealing with the consequences after you say it. So I feel like his First Amendment was well protected during that. I think that he was perfectly allowed to say the things that he did, but then everybody else's First Amendment of responding to what he said was, well,
I mean, I don't see nappy-headed hoes as that crucial, that bad of a comment, but like the rest
I mean, it's
came from
obvious.
his boy, but how it was directed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, nappy-headed is
Yeah.
racist. Like, it is
Right.
racial. But
Yeah.
it's also like, there are times, too, where you can say something racially motivated as a joke that is also mean-spirited, but black people would laugh at it, you know? So,
Right.
like, humor always trumps this kind of stuff, and this one just wasn't very funny. That's the
At all.
problem.
At
Is
all.
he was just riffing off of the top of his head. He heard somebody say hardcore hose, and for whatever reason, nappy headed hopped into his head, and he decided to blurt it out. And it was stupid. And yeah, he deserved to get fired. You deserve the consequences, you know?
Absolutely.
And I mean, I didn't feel that bad for him. The guy made fucking millions and millions of dollars in radio. So it's like you could ride off into the sunset after that point and be retired and everything's perfectly fine. And you know, it didn't have any sort of damage to either team. His comments didn't prevent Epiphany Prince from
No.
going on to be a
At all.
WNBA legend. It didn't prevent Candace Parker from being drafted the very next year and being Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same
for
year.
real.
And Candace Parker actually went on to be in her own little bit of controversy that very next year when she became a rookie. This actually may not have been her rookie year. It might have been the very next year. But remember the malice at the Palace? You know, when the
Yeah.
Pacers
Yep.
were in the Palace of Auburn Hills and decided to get into a big scrap with the Detroit Pistons. And
Oh yeah.
Ron Artest, somebody threw a drink at Ron Artest, so Ron Artest ran up into the crowd and punched the wrong guy for doing it, which in reality, he saw the first out-of-shape guy and thought, I can take him, let me
Yeah.
punch him. So that's kind of what happened there. There was a women's version of the Malice at the Palace.
Oh.
Did you know that? In the Palace of Auburn Hills, there used to be a WNBA team called the Detroit Shock, and Candace Parker got tied up with one of their players, and some bad things happened to them. So here's, you're going to hear some crowd noise. You're going to hear a basketball game playing in the background.
Whoa! Not left. Here we go. Okay, this is absolutely inexcusable.
The scrap is broken out. All the players have to be separated. Someone shoved Lisa Leslie right on her ass. What's going on here?
Rick Mahorn pushed away Lisa Leslie, who
Yeah, Coach Rick Mahorn pushes Lisa Leslie. So, you know, what happened is I'll put the volume down a little bit. I'll let it play through. This is a longer video, but it's worth letting play out. We can talk over like the dead parts. But so what happens here is you're going to see in a replay, both teams are being separated. Both teams are scrapping. No audience members are getting involved. Looks like Cheryl Ford's down with an injury. Some bad shit's going down here. And what happened was it looks like Candace Parker and someone else is going in for a rebound. And they kind of get tied up with one another. Things get a little scrappy. And they decide, I ain't done scrapping. So they decide to push and shove on one another. And so here we go.
This is Ford and Parker tied up with one another. Or excuse me, Pearson and Parker.
Oh.
And they get pushes the other one over. They start shoving.
Trying to play peacemaker, Cheryl Ford might have injured her knee.
So, like, yeah, basically it was, you knocked me over, so I trip you for knocking me over. And then other players come over to break it up. One of the coaches gets involved, shoves Lisa Leslie over. Like, a male coach pushes over Lisa Leslie. Gwinnett Pearson's in there. You know, she was the one who tripped Candace Parker, and Candace Parker tripped her back, so they started fighting. And then Cheryl Ford gets in between them to try to break it up and twists her knee or ankle or something and goes down with an injury.
Oh, wow.
So, like, all of this stuff, everybody's scrapping, everybody's fighting, and then there's this massive delay in game so they can go over the video and decide who was involved in the scrap, who deserves to be thrown out, who got physical, who didn't. And there's this massive delay of game while they go over all of the people involved. and who they're going to kick out. There's 4 seconds left in this game,
That's crazy.
and the Sparks are going to win. Like, this has no effect on the final outcome of the game, but there's this massive delay for them to kick out a couple players on each team. One of the coaches gets thrown out.
Where the incident starts, Pearson and Parker get tangled up. Pearson objects to Parker apparently pulling her down, but goes after her, and then melee ensues.
So yeah, it's crazy to see.
See,
This is one of the bigger brawls that we've seen in the WNBA.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like multiple players. Like Gwinnett Pearson knocked over Candace Parker, and then Candace Parker knocked her back down, like tripped her while she was on the ground.
Yeah.
And everybody starts fighting. And then Detroit's star player gets injured while trying to break it up, which is so damn unfortunate. She twists her knee and goes down. And then the coach comes in for Detroit and pushes Lisa Leslie from the Los Angeles team to the ground.
That's crazy.
So, like, the coach gets ejected. All of these players get ejected. Everybody's getting kicked out and thrown out. And there's only 4 seconds left in the game. There's really, like, this didn't need to happen. This was so needless and silly. But, you know, I mean, it did involve Candace Parker. So, I mean, it ties in. I love Candace Parker, though, man. Obviously, you know, we're talking about her controversies and talking about all of that weirdness, the stuff with Don. This is basically an excuse to talk about the Don Imus incident, to be completely transparent with you. I've always wanted to talk about that because it was huge in the news and super weird and controversial, and it involved women's basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So I've always thought that it was appropriate to talk about on Planet W. It's also appropriate to talk about on Universe of Weirdos. So this was the perfect crossover, I feel like, for these two episodes. But I love Candace Parker. She would be on my absolute Mount Rushmore of women's basketball.
Probably the first on there.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about top three, she might be... she should be number one for most people. For me, it's Tamika Catchings because I'm from Indiana.
Yeah.
And she's the Indiana Fever legend who won us our only championship. So Tamika Catchings to me is the GOAT, even though it's Candace Parker. I mean, I can step outside of my own bias and say it's Candace Parker. Candace Parker's better than Tamika Catchings, just not in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, by far, Mount Rushmore, top 5 all time. You got other people in there. Diana Taurasi would probably be in there. She's another one that we can do a crossover episode on because Diana Taurasi has her share of controversies as well. She's been involved with some shady characters.
Oh, yeah.
She's had associations with people who were in like European mafias and shit. So like she's played, she's played overseas. And, like, the people who own the teams were, like, gangsters and stuff. So, Diana Taurasi is another one that we can absolutely do a Planet W and Universe of Weirdos crossover for. But, I mean, I don't know. I thought this one was a pretty good one. I thought this was a pretty decent crossover episode here between the two podcasts. You guys can let me know what you think, though. I mean, maybe you disagree. I don't know. But feel free to reach out if you would like. PlanetWNBA@gmail.com. Universeofweirdos@gmail.com. I am also jcraft247 on X. I am Instagram, Universe of Weirdos, and Planet WNBA. Dan.
Yeah, I'm Feverville317, Instagram and TikTok.
So there you go. And if you would like, if you're listening on Planet W's feed right now, shoot on over to the Universe of Weirdos feed and subscribe to that. If you're on Universe of Weirdos, go over to Planet W, a WNBA podcast. Subscribe to that feed and give both podcasts 5-star ratings, big thumbs ups, positive reviews, good words of encouragement. If you share the podcast through your podcast app onto your social medias, that helps with algorithms. Downloading it instead of streaming it also helps support us in ways that you will never understand because I don't understand it either. I don't know how podcasts work in that regard, but I know that downloading it instead of streaming it gives us more money when it comes to advertising, and I don't know why. The podcast economy out there is a bizarre one. But
we thank you for it.
We absolutely thank you for it, and we appreciate every listener that we have on both Universe of Weirdos and Planet W, a WNBA podcast. You guys have helped us go 100 episodes plus through both podcasts have done over 100 episodes, and we're going strong. Universe of Weirdos, award-nominated Best Comedy Podcast. And next year, we're putting in the effort to make Planet W a nominated sports podcast. I'm putting in the effort. I'm campaigning. I'm getting the award next year for Universe of Weirdos. I am winning Best Comedy. I'm in training. I'm in comedy training, getting my comedy muscle all developed. So if I don't win, they can just suck my comedy muscle. That's how I feel. But we will see you next time on both podcast feeds, Universe of Weirdos and Planet W. And we are blasting off back to Feverville until then. Peace. See ya.